Dear students, the next topic is the torque in epicyclic gear train. Torque in epicyclic gear trains. When power is transmitting from an epicyclic gear train, as shown in figure, then for equilibrium, three torques are applied externally. One is the input torque, or we call it as the driving torque, represented by T1. The second one, resisting torque or the output torque, represented by the T2. And third one, the holding torque or fixing torque or braking torque, represented by T3. Hence, the sum of the torques, in order to be under equilibrium, T1 plus T2 plus T3, it must be equals to 0, called as equation number 1. Assuming efficiency of gear system as 100%, that is, there are no losses in power transmission, then summation of T into omega, which is equals to 0. We have three torques, so T1 into omega 1. So this is the one shaft. It will rotate at angular speed of omega 1. The output shaft, it will rotate an angular speed of omega 2. And this is the holding torque. So it will rotate at an angular speed of omega 3. So T1 omega 1 plus T2 omega 2 plus T3 omega 3, which is equals to 0. Called as equation number 2. For a fixed member, that is in case of casing, so omega 3, it will be equal to 0 because it is fixed. The angular speed of that, it will be always equals to 0. So substitute for this. So the above equation, it becomes T1 omega 1 plus T2 omega 2, which is equals to 0, called as equation number 3. From equation 1 and 2, the holding or the braking torque T3 can be obtained. So from 1 and 2, the holding torque, so that is T3, it can be obtained by two cases. When the input and output shaft rotate in the same direction, the input and output torques will be in opposite direction. So when input and output shaft rotate in the same direction, when you see over here, this is the input shaft, which is rotating in clockwise direction. The output shaft, it is also rotating in clockwise direction. So input and output shaft rotate in same direction, then the input and output torque will be in opposite direction. So the T1, the torque on the input shaft, it is in clockwise direction. The torque on the output shaft, it is in counterclockwise direction. So it will act in opposite direction. Similarly, when input and output shaft rotate in opposite direction, so input shaft, it will rotate in clockwise direction, the output shaft, it will rotate in counterclockwise direction, then the input and output torque will be in the same direction. So the torque T1 and the torque T2, it will be in the same direction. So figure A shows that when the input and output shafts rotate in same direction, so this is the figure A, the input and output shaft, it will rotate in the same direction. Then the direction of the holding torque T3. So this is the holding torque. So the direction of the holding torque T3, it always depends upon the relative magnitudes of T1 and T2. So it always depends upon the magnitudes of T1 and T2. So the figure B. So the figure B, it represents the input and output shafts rotating in opposite direction. When input shaft and output shaft rotate in opposite direction, then the holding torque T3, will be opposite to that of T1 and T2. So this, it will be always opposite to the value, that is rotation of T1 and T2. So this is what the torques in epicyclic gear train. If the efficiency of the system is neta, then the equation 3 it becomes. So the equation 3, it becomes neta times of T1 omega 1 plus T2 omega 2, which is equals to 0. So this formula, it will be used to calculate the torques in the gear trains. So totally we have the 3 torques. One is driving torque, one is driven torque, and one more is the holding or braking torques. So for a fixed member, so the braking torque, or so for casing, right, in case of casing, so the holding torque, it becomes 0. So we'll deal with only input and the output torques. So let us see one simple problem on this. So epicyclic gear train shown in figure. This is what epicyclic gear train shown in figure. As a sun wheel, yes. So it has a sun wheel, yes, of 30 teeth, and two planet wheels PP of 50 teeth. So this is one planet gear. This is one planet gear. Both it will have a teeth of 50, 50. The planet wheels mesh with the internal piece of fixed annulus A. So the planet wheels. So the P and P, it is meshing with the internal teeth of the fixed annulus. So this is the fixed annulus A. So the fixed annulus A is nothing but it is the internal gear. So the driving shaft carrying the sun wheel transmits 4 kilowatt at 300 rpm. So the driving shaft carrying the sun wheel. So the gear S is what? It is the driving gear. So it is mounted on the driving shaft. It will transmit 4 kilowatt at 300 rpm. The driven shaft is connected to an arm. So the arm, it is connected to the driven shaft, which carries the planet wheels. So it carries the planet wheels. So determine the speed of driven shaft. So you have to find out the speed of driven shaft. Where the driven shaft is mounted, driven shaft is connected to arm. So you have to find out the speed of the arm. So speed of the arm and the torque transmitted if the overall efficiency is 95%. So this is the given problem. So the diagram also is given. So write down the data. So given, so number of T's on the sun gear, so it is 30. So fixed annulus. See here one data is given. The planet wheels mesh with the internal teeth of fixed annulus A. So that means the gear A, it is fixed. So the speed of NA, it will be equals to 0. It is fixed. Number of T's on the planet wheels. So it is 50. And the speed, so the driving shaft carrying the sun wheel transmits 4 kilowatt at 300 rpm. So the sun wheel, it will rotate at 300 rpm and it transmits 4 kilowatt. So power is 4 kilowatt. So the speed of sun wheel, so it is 300 rpm and efficiency is 95%. So you have to find out the speed of driven shaft. That is, the driven shaft, it is mounted on the arm. So you have to find out the speed of the arm. Is the given problem. So solve it by the tabular column method. So when you see the diagram or from the given data, so we have totally 3 gears, that is sun gear, planet gear, and the gear A. Number of T's on the sun gear, it is 30. Number of T's on planet gears, it is 50. But the number of T's on A not given. So you have to find out the number of T's on the gear A. So from the center, so here to here, the radius. So it is RA. So the radius of RA, we can write it as RS plus from here to the center of this, it is RP. Again, from here to here, it is RP. So we can write it as RS plus 2 times of RP, which is equals to RA. So RA, which is equals to RS plus 2 times of RP. So this fish circle radius, it is directly proportional to the number of T's, assuming the model is same. So that is Ts plus 2 times of Tp, which is equals to Ta. So you know the value of Ts, it is 30, Tp is 50. which is equals to TA. So number of T's on gear A, it will be 130 T's. So this you have to find out. Now you tabulate the table. So draw the table. So condition of the motion. Motions or revolutions of the elements of gear train. So go to the diagram. So first write down the RM. After that, so how many gears are there? Yes, the sun gear, planet gear, and the annulus A. So start from S. So gear S, gear P, and gear A. Gear S, gear P, and gear A. Planet P, annular wheel A. Now RM is fixed. Give plus one revolution to the sun gear only. So you just give one revolution to this. So RM, number of revolutions of the RM, it will be 0. Number of revolutions of the sun gear, it will be 1. Now you have to find out the number of revolutions of the gear P and the gear A. Go to the diagram. So I am giving plus 1 revolution to this. So yes, it drives P. So number of revolutions of the P, it will be what? TS by TP. So Ts by Tp, and you see the direction. When it rotates in clockwise direction, this it rotates in counterclockwise direction. So it is minus Ts by Tp, minus Ts by Tp. Similarly, so you have to find out the number of revolutions on the gear A. On gear A. So start from here. So I am giving plus 1 revolution to the sun gear. Yes. So this drives this. So again the P drives A. So number of revolutions of this, it will be what? Ts by Tp into this, it drives this Tp into Ta. So Tp get cancelled out. You'll get Ts by Ta. And you see the direction. When you rotate this in clockwise direction, this it will rotate in counterclockwise direction. If this it rotates in counterclockwise direction, the A also it will rotate in counterclockwise direction. So it is a negative value. So this is the first row. Go to the second step. So instead of having plus 1 revolution, so RM is fixed, give plus X revolution to the gear S. So multiply by X in the first row and you write in second row. So 0. So multiply by X, it becomes plus X. So minus Ts by Tp into X minus Ts by Ta into X. So go to the third step, add plus y revolution to all the elements. So plus y plus y plus y plus y. So find out the resultant motion. We just add the second and the third row. 0 plus y, it is plus y. X plus y, it is x plus y. So y minus x times of Ts by Tp, y minus x times of Ts by Ta. So all the data, it is tabulated in the tabular column. Okay. Now go for the given data. So the speed of the sun gear. So he has given ns, which is equals to 300 rpm. That is, but from the table, the speed of the sun gear, it is x plus y. So therefore, x plus y, which is equals to 300 rpm, called as equation number 1. Also from the data, the fixed annulus A, that is the gear A, which is fixed. So the speed of that gear A, it becomes equals to 0. But from the table, the speed of gear A, it is y minus x times of Ts by Ta. So y minus x times of Ts by Ta, which is equals to 0. So that is, so y minus x, you know the number of T's on the sun gear, 30. Number of T's on the annulus A, it is 130, which is equals to 0. To simplify this, you'll get y minus 0.2307 times of x, which is equals to 0, called as equation number 2. Now you solve equation 1 and equation 2, we will get the values of x and y. So solve 1 and 2, we get the value of x as 243.8 rpm and the value of y as 56.2 rpm. So once you get the values of x and y, you have to find out the speeds of the gears. So therefore, the speed of the driven shaft. So the driven shaft is mounted on the RM. So the speed of the driven shaft. So it is nothing but y. So the value of y is 56.2 rpm. So that is what the speed of the driven shaft. And also you have to find out the torque transmitted by the sun gear. Yes. So we know that power. So the power transmitted P, which is nothing but 2 pi nt by 60. So 2 pi ns small ts by 60. So you find out the torque transmitted by the sun gate. So Ts, which is equals to P into 60 by 2 pi ns. So power he has given. So 4 kilowatt, 4 into 10 to the power of 3 into 60 divided by 2 pi into the speed of the sun gate. So 300 rpm. So from this, you will get the value of torque. So the torque on the sun gear, which is equals to 127.3 Newton meter. Now we have to find out so the torque on the driven shaft. So the torque on the driven shaft. So the driven shaft, it is mounted on arm. So we have to find out the torque on the arm. So we have the equation. So efficiency into omega s into ts, which is equals to omega times of rm into t into rm. This is the equation for efficiency. Efficiency is nothing but the output by input. So output is the rm, the input is the sun gate. So omega times of rm into torque of rm divided by omega s into torque of the sun gate. So therefore we have to find out the t of the rm. So t of the rm, which is equals to neta into omega s into ts by omega of the rm, which is equals to efficiency is given 95%. So 0.95 into, so the speed of the sun gate, so it is 300 rpm into, so the torque of the sun gear 127.3 divided by the speed of the rm, so it is 56.2 rpm. So you simplify this, so you'll get the torque on the rm, which is equals to 645.5 newton meter. So this is the way of finding the torques on the driving as well as the driven shafts in epicyclic gear train. Thank you.